Yeah. Let's go.
Do we see a green bike in the front? Shakes it down. Webster with a good jump.
Look, Cloud up the inside. Cloud that comes through.
Jet Beat has done everything right today. 5 seconds to go.
24, ProMX champion. Take a bow, Kyle Webster.
Go hard.
There's so much to see and do in the beautiful Latrobe City region, with a selection of national parks and rainforests, world-class sporting events, endless cycle trails, 5-star restaurants and plenty of activities to help you unwind and relax. Latrobe City has it all, including the historical Loyang motocross track located just outside of Traralgon, which has hosted national championships since 1993, where it hosted the National 500cc Motocross Championship. Well, today it plays host to round 4, the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. Hello everyone, I'm Lee Hogan alongside former Supercross superstar Danny Ham. Danny, welcome. We've been here many times to Traralgon in the past. Through the 1990s, this place has some history.
It does, absolutely, and we're really excited about coming back here as well. Last time we visited this place, 1998, and I can tell you, I had an absolutely terrible day.
Yes, mine wasn't too good either. Well, the Pirelli MX2 class rider Kingsford has won the last 2 rounds on the trot. And of course, it was Brodie Connolly whose appeal got knocked back, and that has affected his points dramatically.
Yeah, look, finally we get a resolution to that appeal, and it has been knocked back. And quite frankly, I'm happy with the way it's turned out because the points are so close, 4 points of difference. This championship is still really alive. Kingsford gains strength every time out on the track, but don't count out Connolly yet. He is absolute beast in these conditions.
Now the Maxxis MX3 class, Cade Kingsford won both motos at the last round at Gilman, but we expected Kai Woods to be right there in the points. Unfortunately for him, with a motorcycle that had a mind of its own, he managed to get relegated, lost all of his points for that moto, and in turn, Cade Kingsford has himself a monstrous points lead now.
What a crazy turn of events that was, with his bike jumping off the start gate. Outside assistance was the issue right there, and now we see Kingsford with a huge lead over the rest of the field. They have a lot to work out in this particular class as well.
And the Kingsford brothers, you get to catch up with them later on, Danny.
Yeah, look, great little interview coming up with them. Fantastic group of riders. And I can tell you what, I was very excited about getting to this venue, both yourself and I, but you got a chance to get out and have a look at this track.
Welcome to the Shingleback off-road track preview here at Traralgon. The sun is shining, but they have had a lot of rain, and this is one muddy track. Let me get my bike off the Shingleback moto rack, and we'll get into it straight away. Got ourselves a short, sharp start straight here and high speed into a 90-degree left-handed first turn. We have had so much rain here overnight, 20 mil in the area from Friday night to Saturday morning, and I'm out trying my best to make my way through this very muddy track. No jumps whatsoever in these first few turns as we finally make our way over the first of our little single jumps. Once again, the tractor you can see has been through trying to rip the surface and give me a little bit of traction to make my way through here. The light colour soil where it's almost white, you can see the Traralgon dirt's lost all of its consistency, making it almost impossible to make your way through. So much water on the inside of the corner here, but it goes right the way to the outside. Trying to use my foot almost as a ski to make my way through the corner. Up and over the tabletop in a very high speed left-hander here. Almost a little bit of a washout there, both front and back wheel drifting through that high speed corner. And this is a famous part of the track here. High speed up and through this left-hander, through the Fox turn. We're trying to keep it all together here as I make my way towards the outside. And believe it or not, it was a lot drier there than on the inside. We've got some rollers here, nice little double. Trying to keep it on the inside, but drifting wide as we make our way now down through this downhill section. Water right the way across the track. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to be landing in there. Once again, I try to keep the inside, but no hope as I drift to the outside. A very cool little section here as a jump on, step off, and into a tight right-handed turn. Now, it's already got a berm around the outside, but we're going to see numerous choices of inside ruts there, and that's a quagmire. I tell you, trying to make my way through there was very, very tricky. As we make our way through a split section here, jump to the inside or the easy route around the outside, which of course I took. Another tabletop, timing not great, making our way across the highest point of the track, and this right here, I was almost over the handlebars as that is bottomless, almost knee deep the mud. Roll over the single and we make our way towards the last straight before the finish line. High up on the berm and a little bit of a downhill here, which the camera angle doesn't quite show. A little bit of elevation, and this last turn has always been there for as long as I can remember, through the late 80s and through the 90s, but I have not seen it this muddy and slippery. Cross the finish line here, and a good fun couple of corners here, a little bit of drifting. Lucky to keep her on two wheels once again. Nice little double jump, a bit of a clay base here compared to the rest of the track. Nice right-hander, electing to go around the outside once again, and that completes the lap here at Traralgon.
As our MX2 riders get themselves set for the first of their motos. I'll tell you what, that big red #1 in the middle, that's going to be hard to beat, but just to the inside of the rider screen of that, the 21 machine of Ryder Kingsford has been really bringing the fight over the last couple of rounds.
Well, Brodie Connolly, he was our fastest in qualifying, and he is our points leader with 142. Let's take a look at the run sheet here. Brodie Connolly, Ryder Kingsford, Noah Ferguson, Byron Dennis, Jace Cosford, Alex Larwood, Reese Budd, Seth Birchall, Deacon Pace, Caleb Barham.
About 1.8 seconds the difference between first and second. However, it was only 0.3 of a second back to Ferguson. So plenty of contenders in this. There's Berg, King, Dixon. Down further, Flynn, Griffith, Byrne, and Cookus up onto that T-Dub Raceline Husqvarna ride.
Our list of riders goes on. Oh, terrific qualifying here from these guys. As I was saying before, Brodie Connolly is our championship points leader. He's on 142 points. And his next closest rival, Ryder Kingsford, on 138. Now, Kingsford has the momentum. He won the last round at Gilman, going 2-1 for the overall, and he ended up winning the round before also. We are in the starters' hands now. We're about to see the drop of the gate first. Pirelli MX2 Moto of the day. The great jump from it looks to be Kingsford up the inside.
Yeah, Connolly not a great start, but sits there in fourth. Dennis around the outside. Jace Cosford with a good one, as to Reese Budd for showing out on the Kawasaki. He's
already in the second.
Oh, Connolly wasting no time. This is going to be a great battle, but who can latch on to the back of Connolly? Maybe pick up some lines here as the riders come through there. Of course, the WP Whole Shot Award going to Ryder Kingsford, who leads the way on the number 21 machine.
Is that Reese Budd we see there? Yes, it is. On board the Penrite Racing Empire Kawasaki. He has come out firing a top 3 race up against a lot of the big guns last weekend up in Queensland, and he means business here. He has got company up the inside. Is that Byron Dennis? About to make a pass and pops Reese Budd back a spot. Totally different lines there, but this is the battle we came to see. Kingsford versus Connolly. And there's a little bit of flexing going on here. Who's going to come out on top?
Connolly to the inside. Oh, right to the back wheel. Ferguson was up there too. I want to bring it over. I haven't seen them step right up over that. That is the first time, and what a jump it was by both of them. Through the left-hander here, the AMX Superstores left-hander. The pressure being applied by Connolly. Switches to the inside. Tries to dive it down there. Not quite close enough.
Well, have a look at the intent that you can see from Brodie Connolly at the moment. Of course, Kingsford doing everything he can to keep the Honda rider and the reigning champion back. And there we answered my question. They jumped completely over that soft spot.
Whoa!
To the inside. What an effort from Connolly. You can see what he's trying to do here. And this is really a case of them both trying to show who is the alpha male in this group.
If Kingsford can sustain 2 laps of this, then there is going to be a real fight on their hands for Connolly. But the pressure that Connolly is throwing in there, the desperation, that was almost a big come-together movement. Let's look at this. Watch Connolly to the inside. Does not back off, tips it in. Oh, only just missing. That was so close to a massive crash. They could have brought both of them down and ended their day.
Well, you know it's got to be a Kiwi if they're going to throw it up the inside with that kind of mud going on and put that amount of trust into the front and the back wheel. That was crazy stuff there from the #1 machine of Brodie Connolly. But this battle is continuing, and I tell you what, Ryder Kingsford is not going to roll over easy.
Wow, what a start to the race this one has been. Both of these riders clearing out from the rest of the field. 3.3 seconds the gap. Again, to the inside. Kingsford is going to have to be careful because he keeps running these outside lines, and Connolly can just put the bike wherever he wants at the moment. Again, to the inside. Watch to the end here. He did the last lap around. He's close enough this time to maybe put a pass on. Not quite.
No, not in that area. It was the same as the last lap, that he wasn't quite close enough to be able to make it work there. But there is a couple of spots on the track where he can set something up. And what Kingsford needs to be careful of is that last corner. He was trying to get there, but very, very mindful was Kingsford. Around the outside goes Connolly. And that's all she wrote. I believe that with the momentum and comfort that Connolly has at the moment, I think it's going to be a struggle for Kingsford to be able to keep with this pace.
What a great set of plays that was for Connolly right there as he set up an outside, switched it to the inside, back to the outside, forced his hand. Have a look at this, inside, moves to the outside. Kingsford knew that's where he was the last lap around, and just too much momentum from Connolly on the outside. That was a great pass.
You look up the word relentless in the dictionary, you see a picture of that #1, the Honda machine of Brodie Connolly. He did not let up at all, did he? Yeah, well, how the track is at the moment, it's almost like the roost is dipped in super glue. Anything that touches you sticks, it doesn't fall off. There we see, what a pass.
See if he goes to try and clear that vision again. Now that he has a clear track in front of him. Yeah, there you go, wipe across the goggles.
Yeah.
That was with the glove, so very much having trouble with vision at the moment. Tucks the front wheel. Here is the pass to the inside. Again, very forceful, completely out of the line, but takes the line away from Cosford. A smart move to make sure he got that done so he can now concentrate on his vision and the rest of this track.
That gap of 1.5 seconds remains the same between Brodie Connolly and Ryder Kingsford. It really has been a two-horse race so far this year, and it continues to do so. I guarantee you Brodie Connolly wants to stop this momentum of race wins. Yeah, it hasn't really changed the points overall too much, but what it has done is taken a fair bit of money out of his back pocket. You think the amount of money, contingency, bonus money from the factory teams that these riders get for winning the overall, and Kingsford has got the last two in a row. Connolly wants to try to turn that around.
So very close between our race leaders just a moment ago, and that would be as a result of trying to get through some of those lapped riders. Oh, a bit of an in-swinger off that. These riders are going to have to start thinking about some alternative lines. You get so stuck in to something you know that they can bring you unstuck right there. Wouldn't be surprised if we see something different from Connolly the next time through. Bit of a mistake.
In the last three corners, we've seen two mistakes from Connolly, and this is in complete contrast to what we saw in the early stage of the race. And I just can't believe this year there's basically been no separation between these two throughout nearly every single moto. The second moto at Gilman at the last round, we had a crash from Connolly. He still finished in second place, but Kingsford had an easy win. That's one of the only races that I can remember where these two haven't been in some kind of a battle. We scan our memories back to that moto at Wonthaggi, where Connolly went down and Kingsford just had nowhere to go except run into his bike. They both went down, both remounted. So we've got another track penalty here. Rider 7 cutting the course. So Cosford, he has worked his way now back to 6th place.
You can see how central he is on the bike through a majority of the track, but when they get into that really sloppy, unpredictable ground that is underneath them, they get right off the back. Here's that line he was struggling with, much better that time. Still a little bit of a bobble though on that last bit. See them right back on the bike, trying to get the most drive down.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think he went around it, didn't he? He wasn't...
I think those markers that were down have been replaced.
Yeah, I think so. I was just going to ask you, Danny, the very left-hander before that corner we were talking about with the track markers, and you saw Brodie Connolly take the inside. If you have a close look, if we get to see it next lap or the next time we get to see it, the far inside, it's like an orangey colour. I don't know if you remember, through the 1990s, that corner has always been the same. Even when it's wet like this, it has a rock-hard base underneath it. It is so slippery, and just seeing that colour there just brought back the memories for me.
Byron Dennis still holding down third place. He has dropped back 20 seconds off our next place rider, but a very solid performance out of this younger rider to the class. He sits there in third place, nearly a full 10 seconds in front of Larwood. Ferguson has been able to make his way up into fifth.
I was just about to say, Danny, I was having a look there. Very impressive. He's got himself to just 2 positions behind his teammate, Byron Dennis, and he's managed to leapfrog Reese Budd, Jace Cosford. So good ride there. And likewise, we always see that from Ferguson at the end of the race. He never seems to fade. He charges exceptionally hard. Just sometimes we can see him making a bit of a mistake and potentially occasionally popping it on the ground.
And another rider that we did mention, I mentioned earlier on, is Seth Birchall, who was back there in 14th when we had mentioned it. That was a couple of laps into the race. Now finds himself inside the top 10. So another big performance right there as our race leader. Final lap through this left-hander here, just blasting his way through that really sloppy mud. Works his way towards that finish line and into that left-hander here. He will come around, greet the checkered flag, pick up Moto #1 with the win. A great way to start the day.
Yeah, Brodie Connolly, fantastic stuff on board the Polyfloor HRC Honda machine, showing why he has that #1 plate.
All right, let's look at that official results right now as we see them on the screen. Brodie Connolly, Kingsford, Byron Dennis, they were clear to see. Larwood, Ferguson up there into 5th. Cosford, Budd, Barham, Seth Birchall and Deacon Pace.
Yeah, good for Birchall and Deacon Pace there in 10th place. Not quite sure about that penalty though, so we will keep tabs on that. Haruki Okiyama back to 11th. Brock Flynn, Matic Dixon, Mackenzie O'Bree, Kobe Burke rounding out the top 15.
I have a feeling that those penalties could be applied already because Cosford actually came across the line in front of Ferguson, but Ferguson awarded 5th, so those should already be in play. Of course, there could be some changes to that, but that's just what we're seeing at the moment. Sets up for Moto2 later, a pretty interesting race.
It does. Can Kingsford turn it around?
Down here with Brodie Connolly. Brodie, pretty tough first moto. You know, you had work to do early, but back end of that, you got it done. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, awesome way to start the day. Track is gnarly, man. It's very tricky to ride. It's moving around lots, so you think a line's good one lap, and then you come around the next lap and it's totally different. So yeah, good moto though, keeps you on your toes. Rider's riding awesome, so yeah, well done to him, and yeah, just a big thanks to the team and everyone else who helps me.
Brodie Connolly wins first moto.
What a race there from both Connolly and Kingsford, but it was Connolly that came out on top and did it in fine form. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we've got Maxxis Tyres MX3.
Boys, there's been a lot of brothers racing through the history of Australian motocross. We can go back to the Floods, the Andersons, the Marmonts, recently the Lawrences, and now we have the Kingsfords in ProMX. I'm going to go to both of you. What is it like to have a brother racing at such a high level of the sport? I'll start with you.
I mean, the best benefit of it is always hold each other accountable. We train together, we ride together every day, so I mean, yeah, it's always a training partner, but also, yeah, a person just to have a laugh with and get along.
It's always nice to have sort of a family member and a brother to sort of have fun with, but also train with at the same time.
Now, a lifetime of watching each other ride, riding with each other. Who has been the biggest influence on each other's careers as you've progressed through to where we are today?
It can go both ways, to be honest. I mean, I'm the older brother and I never want the younger brother to beat me, so I always train harder and want to go faster than him, and it's probably vice versa for him. He always wants to try and beat me.
I want to ask a question to try and get a little bit of an insight to each other for the viewers at home. Tell us something that the viewers might not know about each other. I'll start with you, Kate.
that there's some days that I beat him at the practice track and he just won't accept it.
I mean, a lot of people here obviously know, but a lot of the viewers at home don't know that he's very messy and loves to sit on the couch and watch YouTube a lot of the time.
Come race day, do you guys support each other? And if so, how do you go about supporting each other in ProMX here?
It's always good. We can relate back from one another on, you know, certain sections, certain lines on the track, or even just stuff with positions at the gates, where to start. And yeah, it definitely at the moment it helps. We can benefit from each other, like I said, with all them aspects. So yeah, it is good.
Come the end of 2025, we see both of you guys #1 at the end of the series. What would that mean to both of you?
Well, yeah, our whole family's invested in this. It's just us two boys and our mum and dad. So it's pretty much a whole family thing. We live away from home. We don't get to see mum and dad much, pretty much except for race days. So yeah, it's definitely the whole family's in this. So if we can end up at the end of the year with the #1, that'd mean a lot to us. At the end of the year, only one of you win. What's the next family dinner mood like?
Depends what way it goes, to be honest. I think, yeah, we'll be happy for each other. Obviously, if one gets one and one doesn't, the ideal situation would be for both of us to win. But I'm sure if he won and I didn't, I'd be pretty disappointed. But no, we'd still be happy for each other for sure.
We're halfway through the season at the moment. You are both sitting at the very top of your respective classes. When we finally get the chance to see the Kingsford brothers racing each other, who comes away on top?
Oh, I mean, look, we ride together every day, so we know where we're at, and he knows he's got a way to go. So at the moment, I think I've got him covered for another couple of years, that's for sure.
Well, there was an opportunity last weekend to race, and old mate pulled the pin. So I think he knew that I was going to beat him, and I think I would have. But if there's another opportunity in the near future, I think you might see me come out on top.
Well, boys, thank you so much for having a sit down. It is definitely an awesome dynamic to have the brothers out there racing. Good luck this weekend in Traralgon.
Appreciate it.
Well, how about the banter from the boys? That must have been a fun little interview. You would have been certainly trying not to crack up laughing from time to time. Dry sense of humour from both of them. I know them both exceptionally well. They're such a great family, mum and dad, good people, but to listen to them there, just the banter, poking the bear, it's brilliant.
Al, it's great to see. We were hoping to get a little bit of that, and they definitely delivered on that. And look, both of the riders at the top of their game at the moment, so looking forward to seeing when they do finally get together. Let's look at the race highlights for Moto #1 here of the MX3. A couple of riders going down early on up the inside in turn #1, but it was Kai Woods that will get himself into the lead with the whole shots. And our other big hitters also up there. There is Strode, I've just noticed, a little bit further back. There he is on screen. And a big save there right for Burgess early on in the race.
Well, you know Burgess would have thought that he was going down. That would have been a surprise to him to go, what, I'm not on the ground here? Balin Townsend likewise actually did hit the ground. But with not the best of starts in this race, Kingsford was forced to come from behind, which is a little bit out of the ordinary for him, as we watched with Kai Woods out in the lead. But things would start to change as the race progressed. Kai Woods here, taking the far inside. A little bit of a mistake there, and as you'll see in a second, starts to make a couple of mistakes. And then the looks over the shoulder. Here we see tagging and a lapped rider with a couple of looks over that right shoulder. And before too long, the lead changed for the first time.
Yeah, Woods going to stay that way though, because Woods fought back into the next turn, grabbed himself back the lead. But it's those little mistakes that we saw out of Woods that would prove costly. A great run down the inside for Kingsford though, just before the finish line, puts himself in the lead, and from there he would just continue to walk away.
Yeah, the lead would not change from there on out. A beautiful last lap it was from Kate Kingsford on board the Pro Honda machine. The checkered flag would come out, and a sensational win for the Honda rider. So we'll wait and see what happens here. We are on the starting gate now, almost in the starter's hands. Let's take a look at our rider list here. Kate Kingsford, Kai Woods, Jed Alsop, Cooper Rose, Seth Shackleton.
Devison Townsend, there is many names on this particular field that could be up there at the end of the race. A huge field, 40 riders, some riders not making it through. Shows the level of skill and talent of this particular class and the enthusiasm to be on the line, ready to go as we see them on their 5-second board is now up. Revs come up for Moto number 2, Maxxis MX3. Traction is everything off the concrete, and they get out to a great start again. Woods looked like it wasn't, it was Kingsford. To the inside, puts himself straight to the lead.
Sonny Pellicano there in second place up the inside.
There is Woods back in about 10th or 11th right now. So he has a lot of work ahead of him in this Moto number 2.
Trying to pick up some of the other big hitters here as they make their way through the middle of the pack. And of course, for any of our viewers at home that are watching for the first time, our yellow numbers on the bike in this particular class, this is a combined junior and senior class. So if we see any riders with the yellow numbers, they are our juniors. Our WP hole shot goes to Cade Kingsford.
Wow, big run up the inside there from Hansis on the 94. He had a lot of work ahead of him in Moto number 1, past a lot of riders to the outside right now of the 113 machine, that is Kimber. And he's looking to put himself there into 4th place at the moment. So Hansis is flying right now. But how about this race up the front here?
Yeah, this is absolutely brilliant. So we have got all kinds of pressure on the back of Cade Kingsford, our race leader. So Caden Strode, the local Victorian who rides for the Pro Honda Privateer setup. So he is not on one of these factory prepped motorcycles. He is putting all kinds of pressure on the race leader.
Allstars there as we caught a glimpse of him in 6th place right now. Looking back through the list, still in 12th at the moment is our race 1 runner-up of Kai Woods on the number 10 machine. He has got enormous amount of work ahead of him. You see the 28 machine just picking himself up off the ground. Unfortunately for him, bad start to this one on the opening lap. You don't want to do that. That was Peter Wolf. Big jump off that single, flies into the right-hander here, cuts down. He did that many times, beautiful line. Squares it up, cuts the line off. Pellicano trying hard to get back, but is not able to do it this time around. Hansis into 4th place, 3rd place, my apologies. Shackleton onto the back wheel now, trying to find a way around. Big run to the outside here. We've mentioned how this outside is so far out. Pellicano, though, a great run there from Shackleton. It's the first time I think I've seen that outside line work that good. Finds himself up 1 more position. Sits there now in 5th place.
Yeah, both WA boys here, Shackleton versus Pellicano. It is definitely not the first time we've seen that battle on a track around Australia. So really good representation from the WA boys here. And just like that, Shackleton is easing up onto the back of Jet Allsop. So not the best of starts, but a good charge.
And have a look to the back of this little battle that we have going on as well. Lee joining the party. It is the number 10 machine of Kai Woods. We see there Hansis, Allsop battling it out. This will be massive for Allsop if he makes this pass.
Huge little battle going on here that has big ramifications for points. Fantastic ride from both of these riders. Just quickly want to make mention, Cade Kingsford with a 10-second gap now over 2nd place. And his fastest lap time of the race, a 157.7, is massively faster than the next closest time. We've got 3 riders all in the 159s, and that is Kobe Hantis, Jet Allsop, and Caden Strode.
But it is the consistency of Kingsford, who is remaining under 2-minute lap times. And that is why we're seeing that lead stretch out to the outside now. Allsop trying to make something happen here as they go towards the finish line. Allsop got the pass made the last lap around here. It's a long way in this second turn. Oh, beautifully read there by Allsop. Squares it up, gets himself there in front of Hantis, who tried to block out that line.
That was just your textbook high-low pass there, wasn't it? An over and under move that we've seen so many times in the sport of motocross. Well read and well executed by Jet Allsop, and there was absolutely nothing that Kobe Hantis could do there. Let's take a look at the Honda replay here, and this is the brilliant, well-executed pass from Jet Allsop. Let's follow as he jumps on the brakes, ducks underneath, and makes a beeline for the exit of the corner. No harm, no foul. Nice and aggressive, but no contact with the bikes. Once again, nice charge here to the outside. Kai Woods on the number 10 Yamaha. trying to make up another spot. If you can get past Caden Strode, that'll get him up into 4th place and he'll minimize the damage a little bit. Really finding some areas to pounce in these latter stages.
Well executed move right there for Kai Woods, getting himself to the inside and a really good run.
Coming through the AMX section here, some of our mid-pack riders, which really has proved to be the softest and most treacherous part of the track. And down past the factory rigs here onto the final straight, which is getting so rough. It's a combination of roller bumps combined with sharp edge ledges on the same straight. How do you ride that? How do you set your bike up for that? Difficult stuff.
It's very hard to balance it out, the work on all of those conditions. We saw on screen there Deegan Rose on the 68 machine, and that was Jack Devison on the 20 machine, a rider we saw well and truly up there in the first of our motos. They are way back at the moment, 19th, 20th, battling it out as they continue on through here. So 11 laps complete, time expired. Our race leader moving towards the finish line right now. He will receive the last lap board this time around. An 11.8 seconds lead. Oh, big moment by a lapped rider, and Kingsford hitting the same line. These boys have very well got to be on their game to avoid these kind of situations. You cannot lay down at this point of the race. You cannot just say, okay, we're done. You've got to be fully focused the entire time.
Well, it's this time of the day where if something could go wrong, it probably will go wrong. You're about to complete your final lap of your final moto. The sun is at its lowest point in the sky, so you've got your peak down a little bit, or you've got an extender on your peak to try to deal with some of the shadows. But you're also dealing with lapped riders that are so fatigued. They don't do this sport for a living like you necessarily do, and they're just trying to hang on. Quite often, they don't even know what line they're going to take. You've got a better idea of what they're going to do before they do. So you're trying to avoid all kinds of dramas out there on the track, and all you want to do is get to the checkered flag and be able to take a deep breath.
Well, there's been plenty of moments for the number 20 machine to take that deep breath with a 10.8 seconds lead as he continues to work his way towards that checkered flag in Moto number 2 here, Maxxis MX3, and it will be a perfect day for him as he moves through this right-hander. Fastest in the qualifying win in Moto number 1, and he had to work for it right there, moving his way through into the lead. This one, though, has been a lot easier for him, getting himself a great start and putting himself up front in the early as they go through the AMX left for the final time this race here today and up to the highest point of the track. I just want to point out, such a great crowd here today, getting to enjoy motocross at its finest, the return to Traralgon, getting to really feel that atmosphere as our race leader works his way towards the finish line.
And talk about controlling the race, controlling the lead. He has kept it at about a 10-second gap throughout the majority of this moto. He is well and truly in control of the championship, taking the second moto win and making it 2 wins from 2 starts here today at Traralgon. Cade Kingsford wins the overall of the Maxxis MX3, and he is pumped. The fist pump to the crowd, to his team, gives a bit of a slap on the chest, and that number 1, and that is well and truly where he sits at the moment in dominant form. That's all you can do at this stage when you're having a day when it's not all coming together and you're up against someone that has got so much momentum. You look at what Kingsford did last weekend. He had a win in the MX2 class against some of the best MX2 riders in the country. It's so hard to compete against that, and we really see he's firing on all cylinders at the moment. Have a look. Might be all smiles, but you can just see that confidence oozing from him, can't you?
Kingsford with the win in this one also. Fantastic ride. As to for Kobe Hantis, this is one of his best results for the year, so congratulations to him. Kai Woods to Shackleton with another solid performance, as to Pelicano. Strode there in 7th, Rowe, Burgess and Townsend.
Such a good start there for Strode. Seth Morrow back in 11th, Max Compton, Oscar Kimpton, Patrick Butler there in 15th. We see further down the list Jack Devison in 19th, and Heath Davey in 20th.
So many classy riders in this one. Cooper Ford back there, 29th, Richie Lawler. Some 85cc riders that we saw last year stepping it up into this class. It's great to see all of them picking up a lot of experience as they continue to move forward in their journey.
Down here, Kai Woods, 3rd position on the day. Probably not the day you were looking for, but that charge in Moto2 was a good one. You got yourself on the podium. Talk us through today.
Man, I'm pretty devastated today, actually. Man, I knew I had to come back to fight this championship, but it's just one of them days, man. I've had a rough few weeks, but not much to say on today. Cage riding unreal at the moment, and I need to get my crap together because, yeah, I need to fight for this championship, and, yeah, it's not over till it's over.
There you go. We're going to move over here. P2 for Jet Allsop. Jet, that was a great battle today. You worked your way through the pack a lot, but you got yourself P2. Looked like you were comfortable out there today.
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable. This track seemed to suit me a lot. Yeah, I had a lot of fun out there, and yeah, it's good battling with the boys.
Well, awesome job there, and your winner, 1-1, K Kingsford. That's a bit of a statement there. 1-1 victory, fastest in qualifying. It's what you all dream of as riders, right?
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Actually had a pretty rough seat last night, so I know I would have had to dog it out. But yeah, got off to a pretty average start in Moto1 and worked my way through, and got a good start in Moto2 and checked out. So another perfect weekend, and yeah, I like it up here.
Well, there you go, boys. They're fired up down here. Maxxis MX3.
Great ride and fantastic job from our podium. First, second and third, and our winner, of course, Cade Kingsford on board the Pro Honda machine. Let's take a look at the points here. Kingsford on top, 191. Huge gap back to Kai Woods, 159.
It is a huge gap, but it only takes one mistake, one bad race for everything to be turned around. Kingsford is yet to have that bad race. It may not come, it may come, who knows, but it doesn't take too much. Allstop right up there, 155 also, as to Shackleton, Devison, equal on points behind them.
Yeah, brilliant ride from these guys here. Caden Strode, fantastic. But there they are, our first, second and third place getters for the Maxxis Tyres MX3. All right, Hammy, well, you got to catch up with the man himself, Kyle Blunden, and the KTM Group 65 Futures. Let's take a look at these young superstars.
KTM Group once again show their commitment to the younger generation of motocross with the introduction of the 65 Futures this weekend. With me is Kyle Blunden from KTM Motor Group. What a great pathway it is for these riders to get out here to Traralgon this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Traralgon's a perfect place for us to kick this off. The track's going to test the guys, but yeah, it's a great spot, and ultimately it's going to be a good proving ground for them.
Now, this is such a good program for these riders to really take the stepping stones to begin their future in motocross, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. Look, last year we saw some really great talent come through this category. Lewis Carafa was kind of one of them that we sort of thought, well, let's give him a shot, let's give him the next step, and we brought him onto the Husqvarna Junior team. So, yeah, it's a great stepping stone for these kids, and we hope to give them a good immersive experience with motorsport.
Now, this track, you mentioned at the start, it's going to test the riders. The big boys are out there. It's really going to test these young riders here this weekend.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, it's going to test these guys, but it's going to test everybody. So it's a new one for us, but exciting that we're here on the calendar. So, yeah, excited to be in Traralgon.
65's on track, getting a taste of what the big boys do.
Bring the kids and make a holiday of it in the picturesque Latrobe City region. There's something for everyone, whether it's checking out some of the country's best wineries and outstanding restaurants, or perhaps the Latrobe Regional Gallery is more your pace. Either way, the Latrobe City region has something for everyone. Welcome back to the Penrite ProMX Championship presented by AMX Superstores. We're at Traralgon, Loyang Park, and of course, Latrobe City. Have a look at the drone shot here. A spectacular vision of our circuit, our racetrack today. And it just looks great, doesn't it? When you consider the amount of rain that we have had over the last couple of days. Fantastic.
As we take a look now at the lineup for Pirelli MX2 Moto, number 2, it is Brodie Connolly that was fastest and picking up the first race win in front of Kingsford, Ferguson, Dennis, Cosford, Larwood, Rhys Budge, Seth Birchall, and a list of massive named riders all the way through, filling out this gate, ready to get this race underway.
Both the King brothers, Ryan and Curtis, here on the gate, along with their dad, former world champion Shane King, watching. And let's watch the gate as we are off for Pirelli. MX2 Moto number 2. Who's going to get the start? It's a Honda. Is it Brody Connolly? He is on fire today.
Kingsford's there, Larwood's there, Haruki Yokoyama, Risbada is also up there with a good start. He's at Ferguson, once again buried a fair way back, maybe in about 12th place at the moment.
Kingsford just pounces immediately on Larwood and gets himself straight up into second place. Can we see that same battle? You could almost throw a rag over these first two place getters, Brody Connolly and Ryder Kingsford, for pretty much the entirety of that first moto.
Haruki Yokoyama trying to go around the outside there of Chase Cosford as our leaders up and over the tabletop. Moto number 1, the intensity, the craziness of those opening laps, and it's a little bit like we saw just there with Brody Connolly. It's like he does not care where he goes on this track. He's just wide open, leaning back and letting it do what it wants to do. The WP Holshot Award, of course, going to the number 1 machine of Brody Connolly as he tries to stretch out a lead over his main competitor, Ryder Kingsford.
That was a big hole shot, wasn't it? That was not just a close, let me say, photo finish across the hole shot line. It was a massive one. Kingsford back in second place. Larwood, Cosford, Dennis, who was super impressive in that first one. And we just saw him there make another move. Does Ryder Kingsford have what it takes to hang on to the back of Brody Connolly, who looks like he's got some very fast pace here in Moto 2?
Can Larwood keep the back wheel of Kingsford there in front of him? We've potentially got three-way battle between these riders, and it's going to be sorted out over these next couple of laps. As we see Reese Budd dabbing that foot, trying to get through that corner. That is pace on the number 13 machine on the Triumph, just going into that left-hander there just before the finish line. Back in 8th place, Dixon Ferguson in behind them as well. But looking the goods on the Kawasaki in the moment there in 6th place.
So as you said, Noah Ferguson on board the factory KTM machine is back in 10th place, and you cannot battle for top 3 championship points when you are back that far. He needs to do better out of the gate and into the first turn.
Of course, the MX2 proudly sponsored by Pirelli. Naming rights sponsored for this class for a very long time as they go through that Pirelli left-hand turn up and over the tabletop. The mechanics giving out the information to the riders, letting them know where exactly they are on track. Into the Kawasaki left for all of these riders. Just behind them on the 275 machine is Travis Olander, just at the back of that shot. So he is part of this little battle as well. But a good ride here for the 318 of Dixon. They're in 11th place.
So a little bit of a seesawing battle for the competition of who has the fastest lap time here, Danny. About 10 seconds ago, I was going to say it was Ryder Kingsford who had a 1:56.1 with the fastest time. Just as I was about to say that, they crossed the line again, and Brody Connolly did a 1:56.0. And it was Kingsford who did a 1:56.2. So these guys are so rock solid here. As we just take a bit of a look, number 7 of Cosford has just washed that front end down. And he was in a good position there in 5th place. He's going to lose a few spots.
Look at the top of screen. Oh, there's someone already down in that corner. Not sure who that was already there, but unfortunately missed the start of the rut that he was in. Actually, that was, was that Kingsford?
That was Kingsford. Yep. Kingsford has dropped down now out of the top 5. He is down 7th.
Yeah, he was on the entry to that corner that Cosford almost hit, and that's why he went down.
At the moment, we've currently got 50 points maximum for Connolly if he wins this one as well. And we've got Larwood and Dennis both on 40 points, equal at the moment. That will round out our points, our podium, as it sits at the moment. But 36 points is Ryder Kingsford, who's currently back in 7th place. So it's not out of the question, but he has got a few riders he needs to pass.
Well, there's 2 right in that talk that you just had there. He needed to pass about 3. Look at this battle here with Deacon Pace trying to get around Bud as well. Very, very loose. So Kingsford is right back there in the hunt. 2 more points, which he will get over the next pass that he makes. But that will only tie him for 2nd, which will be 3rd on the count back. So he still needs another 2 to clear, put himself there into 2nd and resume that challenge that he has, at least get 2nd on the podium for the day. Nice line to the inside. And I think that's the big point, Lee. we've seen him do some great rides, but the fact he is so controlled and composed right now is the most impressive thing. Both of these riders, again, almost a full second faster than our leader. So they're closing on the leader at the same time as Dennis is closing. Oh no, is that the 22? It is the 22 of Reese Budd.
Oh, okay.
So the rider's having to slow right down here at the moment.
Red
outside.
cross flags. Let's hope that Reese is okay. This is shattering news for the Budd family. We hope he's okay. He looked to be sitting up, didn't he?
Yes.
He was sitting up.
So it looks like our down rider in Budd has been moved from the track. I think they're both well and truly out. Oh, look at Dennis to the inside. This is a good run. This is going to be hard for Larwood to hold that position. Tries to square it up. Dennis reads the play. He might have him back just here. Wow, Larwood around the outside.
Well, we said it before, we'll say it again. That was a grown man pass around the outside. When you pass someone around the outside and gets it straight back once again.
Larwood to the inside, though, is not going to let up just yet. Dennis, what a fantastic exchange between both of these riders. Here we go, look at the replay. To the outside, Larwood looks like he doesn't have control, but somehow tips it in. Dennis really had nothing he could do, but then going into this corner, absolutely nails that rut.
Greased that rut, didn't he?
Yes, that was beautiful return from Byron Dennis, getting himself to second place right now. So you'd have to think probably another 4 laps in this one, depending on when they come across the line. The leader's already across, as we see Larwood there in third coming across the line. He's still there too with Dennis. This one's not over just yet. If Larwood can put down a hot lap right now, he will well and truly put that pressure back onto Byron Dennis there in second place.
Most of the fans that follow the sport, and we talk about, you know, the world stage over in America, you think of Ricky Carmichael back in the day, and he would have his bike facing one way 90 degrees and then the other. And just like we saw just then from Connolly, he wouldn't even probably remember those 2 little mistakes that he just made. His heart rate wouldn't really change that much, whereas for you or I, Danny, our heart rate's just blown up and gone over 200 beats per minute because it stepped more than 1 centimetre out to one side or the other. Or if you're a rider along the lines of Jet Lawrence, he doesn't like it to be too messy. So these riders here, and the prime example is we've spoken about Kyle Webster, we've spoken about Brodie Connolly. Both of these riders let it all hang out, don't they?
Very much so. As the last lap board now comes out for the number 1 machine of Brodie Connolly. 12.5 seconds clear of anyone else on the track at the moment. Negotiates his way around that right-hander and into this turn for the final time in Moto number 2. Looking the goods at the moment. Small mistake there. When you're 12 seconds out, you can do whatever you like, really. You've got all the time in the world on the final lap to have a smooth on the track somewhere if you choose to. But this guy looked flawless here in this race.
Yeah, and a great job from Dennis back there in second place, who will secure himself second overall.
I just saw in the background of them shots, they are side by side. Dennis and Larwood, something has gone on there because that battle is raging at the moment. So, Connolly on his final lap. Here it is.
Pit board's out. There's the battle that you were talking about. And it continues to be Dennis. He only has to hold on for a half a lap, but roles have reversed here. And it's Larwood who's trying to make his way up the inside, all the way across to the inside, but a big mistake from Dennis. A little bit of a front wheel wash there. He needs to try to keep it all in tow, and that could have been the costly mistake from Alex Larwood.
This is Larwood's MO, right? He loves to charge it at the end of the race, really put the pressure on and try and close it out strong. This will go down to the checkered flag. I'm sure we're going to get to watch the leader come across the line when he gets close, and this one will resolve itself after that. 10 seconds back from our race leader. Beautiful battle, though, between both of them. But here he is, the number 1 machine on the Polyfloor Honda HRC bike. This is the reason he leads this championship with only 1 turn to go.
Out of New Zealand, carrying the number 1 plate, our reigning champion on board the Polyfloor HRC machine, extending his championship points lead, and he will be ecstatic Brodie Connolly, what a race, what a day here at Traralgon. 2 wins from 2 starts. You can't do much better than that. And the battle comes right the way through to the checkered flag for 2nd place. What an outstanding day and an outstanding moto for Byron Dennis. A very close 3rd place for Alex Larwood. Take a look here, our race winner, Brodie Connolly from Byron Dennis, Alex Larwood, rider Kingsford, Noah Ferguson, rounding out the top 5, Haruki Yokoyama, Deacon Pace, the WA boy, Seth Birchall, Jace Cosford, Travis Olander, rounding out the top 10.
Dixon had with a good rider also. King there in 12th place. Cookus in 14th. O'Bree back there 17th. Larson 19th. And Groundwater in 20th.
Axel Widden, Brock Hutchins, Curtis King, Jai Cornwall, Connor Adams, and the list goes on. Every single one of these riders doing such an amazing job out here in these conditions. They have put it on for us here today at Traralgon, Loyang Park. So much history here, so many races over the years, and once again, we've come up trumps with some of the best track conditions we have seen in such a long time. All right, let's head down to Trent.
Yeah, down here, right at Kingsford, that second moto was pretty tough going down there, but 3rd on the box. Probably not the way you wanted to finish the day, but good way to respond after making that mistake.
Yeah, I haven't got much to say. That was a very poor effort from me. Just a stupid mistake on my behalf. I felt like I had the speed to win all day, and obviously just tight between me and Broads in that first race, and it was ending up to be another good race then. So wasn't my best performances then. So we'll go back to the drawing board and be ready for next round.
There you go. We'll move over here. Byron Dennis, P2. Smile says it all there, mate. You worked hard. You had goggle issues in the first one, and then that one you had a battle with Larwood all the way to the end. Talk us through it.
Yeah, first race had a bit of a goggle issue, but no dramas there at all. And it's good to have a bit of hard work starting to pay off. And I'm really happy with everyone that's who helped me putting in, and ready to get on to the next ones.
There you go, and your winner, a 1-1 day here for Brodie Connolly. Brodie, perfect day. Fastest qualifier, 1-1. This is kind of, I guess, that rebound from the last couple of rounds you've been looking for.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of little things haven't gone my way the last couple of rounds, and a couple of little mistakes on my behalf. So, that was a refreshing day to get a double victory, and I can't thank the team enough. My parents back home watching, the Townsend family for all their support, and can't thank everyone enough. Get to race a motorbike for a job, so it's pretty bloody cool, to be honest.
Well, there you go, MX2 Podium here, boys. All smiles.
Fantastic job from our 1st, 2nd and 3rd place podium place getters. Brodie Connolly coming out on top. Brilliant. Let's take a look at the points. Brodie Connolly 192. Stretching it out now from Kingsford 178. Byron Dennis in 3rd place. Brilliant ride from him. Larwood in 4th. Noah Ferguson, Jace Cosford, Seth Birchall, Kobe Burke, Travis Olander, Deacon Pace rounding out the top 10. Make sure you lock into your calendars June the 13th to the 15th as we head to Morgan Park Raceway in Queensland for round 4 of the My Bike Australian Superbike Championship presented by Moto2.
And ProMX rolls into Warwick, Queensland for round number 5, June 22.
Well, what a day's racing we have just witnessed. Thanks so much for joining us. On behalf of myself, Lee Hogan, Danny Ham and Trent Marr, thanks for your company. We'll see you next as we head to Warwick in Queensland for round 5 of the championship. This telecast is in the memory of Joel Evans, who we tragically lost recently. Joel, you will be strongly missed in the ProMX paddock. From all of us here at ProMX, Motorcycling Australia and all in the racing community, we send our sincere condolences.